types of services that you have. They break down by region, by ownership type, so there's lots of data out there. But roughly speaking, when you look at it, you see about 60% of the total compensation for a physician today is still driven by purely production, RVU, collections, or salary, right? 60% of it is this is the base rate. This is where it's coming from. We're seeing an increase now. It used to be, you rewind about 5 years ago, and there's only about 5 to 8% of the total compensation that was around incentives, either by quality or by value-based incentives. And we're now actually starting to see both those categories increase and enrich. So value-based incentives, things like patient satisfaction, access, we're seeing those take up as much as 10%. Quality metrics, there's actually a shift right now. It used to be very heavily focused on individual performance on quality metrics like HEDIS and HEDIS-like metrics, because that was what was aligned to the pay-for-performance programs. But now as we're getting into broader value-based incentives as organizations, we're actually starting to say we want to make sure that patient satisfaction and access are key components to what we're doing. Right, so we are seeing changes in the compensation model, but it's happening slowly. So how do you plan this shift? And there's really 4 steps to it, and they do tend to go in order. The first one is to planfully ratchet down what the base is. So if you think about that base compensation, right, that is coming from typically from production, you want to ratchet down how much production has either as a percentage of weight or how much you're actually paying for each one of those mechanisms slowly over a period of years. And it has to be planful. It has to be out in front. It has to include your physicians and your physician leadership in doing this. They should be leading this charge. But ratcheting down the base is the first step. And it's not by huge percentages. It's a couple % per year potentially. The next thing is to move the productivity threshold higher. In other words, the expectation of where you're going to bonus on productivity now moves a little bit higher than it used to. Right? And then the third piece then is to decrease the pay per